they respond to, based on probably how the genes respond to different experiments. Another interesting application of these sorts of clustering algorithms is actually the image processing. This picture I got from Steve Gould, who's another PhD student. It turns out what you can do is if you give this sort of data, say an image, to certain unsupervised learning algorithms, they will then learn to group pixels together and say, gee, this set of pixels seem to belong together and that set of pixels seem to belong together. And so the images you see on the bottom, I guess you can just barely see them. So the images you see on the bottom are groupings, are what the algorithm has done to group different pixels together. On a small display, it might be easier to just look at the image on the right. The two images at the bottom are two sort of identical visualizations of the same grouping of the pixels into contiguous regions. And so it turns out that this sort of clustering algorithm, this sort of unsupervised learning algorithm, which sort of learns to group pixels together, turns out to be useful for many applications in vision, in computer vision image processing. Let's show you one example. This is a rather cool one that two students, Ashutosh Saxena and Min Sun here did. Which is given an image like this, right? This is actually a picture taken on Stanford campus. You can apply that sort of clustering algorithm and group the picture into regions. Let me actually blow that up so that you can see it more clearly. Okay, so in the middle you see the lines sort of grouping the image together, grouping the image into contiguous regions. And what Ashutosh and Min did was they then applied the learning algorithm to say, can we take this clustering and use it to build a model, to build a 3D model of the world. And so, using the clustering, they then had a learning algorithm try to learn what the 3D structure of the world looks like, so that they could come up with a 3D model that you can sort of fly through. Okay. By the way, many people used to think it's not possible to take a single image and build a 3D model. But using a learning algorithm and that sort of clustering algorithm is the first step. They were able to. I'll just show you one more example. I like this because it's a picture of Stanford, of our beautiful Stanford campus. So again, taking the same sort of clustering algorithms, you can, taking the same sort of unsupervised learning algorithm, you can group the pixels into different regions, and using that as a pre-processing step, they eventually built this sort of 3D model of Stanford campus from a single picture. So you can sort of walk into the scene, look around the campus. Okay. This actually turned out to be a mix of supervised and unsupervised learning, but the unsupervised learning, the sort of clustering, was the first step. So it turns out there are